We are finally at the stage where every college basketball player dreams of being. We are at the Final Four. 4 teams remain. We have the South Carolina Gamecocks, a team that was under the radar the entire tournament, even though they've beaten high-market teams like Duke in the second round, Baylor in the Sweet 16, Florida in the Elite Eight. Everybody still thinks they're the underdog, even though they've beaten 3 giants in college basketball. And I say 3 giants because Florida was really good in the past. They've won national championships before. Baylor's always had a struggle of getting past the Sweet 16. And Duke was one of the favorites heading into this tournament. So then to beat 3 high-market teams, they are still considered the underdog. We have the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Now this is a team that I've just been underestimating all year long. Constantly. I was saying every week, if you followed me on Twitter at JB Talk Sports, you would see I constantly said Gonzaga was overrated. No way Gonzaga gets past the second round. But each and every game, these guys continue to prove me wrong. I fail to realize they are 6-0 versus top 25 teams this year. And they handled Xavier pretty easily. I expected a close game out of Xavier and Gonzaga. But I believe it was a 23-point margin of victory. We have the Oregon Ducks, a team that I didn't necessarily underestimate them. I just didn't have them going far in the tournament because of the loss of Chris Boucher. I honestly thought Oregon was going to be eliminated by now. But they overcame a huge deficit against Rhode Island. They overcame a late deficit against Michigan. And they handled Kansas really well. I mean, nobody really expected them to beat Kansas by 14. I mean, many thought it was a possibility they could beat Kansas, but not by 14 or 15 points. And the last team that we have in the Final Four, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Now, this team is looking back. They have unfinished business. They're a team on a mission, especially with how short they were last year. To lose on a buzzer beater, you know North Carolina's back. I said this in the Elite Eight video. You have guys like Isaiah Hicks, Kennedy Meeks, Justin Jackson. They want to get this championship because they know how close they were last year, having to watch Villanova just storm the court and just dogpile. They want to experience that this year, so they are on a mission. Anyway, let's get to the picks. What you've all been waiting for. Alright. We have got... First game I'm going to do Gonzaga versus South Carolina. Now, I'm not sure which game is going to be first this year. They normally alternate them on the sides of the bracket. But I think we're going to see South Carolina Gonzaga first. I'm not sure. If it's otherwise, comment down below so we all know. But Gonzaga, South Carolina, this is going to be a great matchup. I mean, some would assume that Gonzaga is going to win this game. But South Carolina has guys that can provide mismatches. In particular, Thornwell and Cosart. Those two can provide some serious mismatches. And Gonzaga's got some big men too. Like you've got the guy from, I believe he's the number 24. He's from Poland. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But he can provide a huge mismatch inside. That'll be a great matchup to watch throughout the entire game. However, in the end, I feel like this is going to be a really close game from start to finish. I think we might see one of the teams pull away, maybe get out to an early 10-4 lead. I could see this being really close up to halftime. But in the end, I just think that South Carolina's luck is going to run out in this tournament, as I like Gonzaga to move on to the championship game. I believe Gonzaga gets how can I describe this? They get a really decisive 73-67 victory over the South Carolina Gamecocks. And the second game, Oregon versus North Carolina. This is going to be a really huge matchup. You've got the Oregon Ducks, who have continued to win without star forward Chris Boucher, because they have another supporting cast led by Dylan Brooks and Tyler Dorsey. However, here's what happens with teams that always shoot the three-pointers. They don't tend to win the whole thing. You've seen teams in the past, like Michigan was well at shooting the three-pointers. Back in the year they lost the national championship game. North Carolina last year lost the national championship game. Oklahoma last year lost in the Final Four. They got crushed in the Final Four by Villanova. I honestly see the exact same thing happening with Oregon. I feel like Oregon's defense is going to allow too many drives to the basket, specifically by Hicks and Meeks. I feel like if Isaiah Hicks and Kennedy Meeks can get all these drives to the basket, it's going to be a long night for Oregon. I'm going to kind of go a little bit bold here. Now, I could actually be wrong on this, but I like North Carolina to pick up an 84-71 victory. So I think North Carolina wins by 13 points. But as you see this Final Four, it may have not started with parity, but it ended with parity. I mean, you have South Carolina Gonzaga in their first Final Four in school history. Oregon in the Final Four for the first time since 1939, also known as the year they won it all. And North Carolina, they're no stranger to the Final Four. So for keeping score at home, I like Gonzaga and North Carolina to face off in the championship game on April 3rd. We're going to have the championship game preview right after the games on Saturday. And no, it will not be an April Fool's joke. Anyway, like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at JB Talk Sports. Have a great night, everybody. I will see you next time.